Record. Okay, there we go. We'll try that again. Okay, now can you see it?
Yep.
Sweet. Perfect. Then I figured out how I can make this big screen, so I'm getting better at this.
Yeah, that's it. You're doing better than I would be doing right now, so I'm impressed.
I've had a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be basically like we talked about, just back to the basics, kind of just a good refresher and a good intro for you. So that little bit of overwhelm that you're feeling, it'll just kind of,
Yep.
it'll relax you a little bit. So,
Take all my worries away.
exactly. First, I just wanted to share a little bit about my story, because I feel like it's important that there's so many of us that maybe we don't know each other that well, and just kind of how I got started is something good to know. So I've been coaching since April of 2014. When I signed up, I didn't have anybody to sign up under. So I was assigned to a Canadian coach. Her name is Erin. She's the one that was going to do the call for us tonight, but couldn't make it. And her husband is also a coach. So they're both full-time coaches now. They've been coaching for 3 years, and they both had corporate jobs, loved their jobs, made decent money, and then they got into this because they both needed to lose weight, and then it ended up kind of just going from there. So I was given to her. I don't know anybody on her team. Her team is Mombi Fitness, other than Facebook, of course, but they've all been super friendly, super helpful, so that's cool in that aspect. And that's kind of why I love that we're all local, and we have the opportunity to get to know each other. So that's what I love about this. So that's just kind of the quick overview. So into the basics part of it. So social media, obviously, you guys know, is huge, and that's how, obviously word of mouth is working really well, but social media is also a big aspect. But I want to kind of tell you what not to do, because it's what I did. So just focus on one thing. Obviously we're all on Facebook, so that's really good to just put yourself out there. And I know that you guys, well, Cassie and Casey, you both really transformed into sharing your story versus sharing something that maybe would look like came from Beachbody. So that's really important. I mean, tell people, we were just talking about the holidays are coming, maybe you're in a slump. If you admit that to people, they're gonna be like, hey, that's me too, so don't be afraid to just put yourself out there. Obviously, you don't want to be pushy, and you don't want to be that annoying person that we all know. But I mean, don't be scared to tell yourself, and then once people start catching on, then they just automatically ask you, like, hey, you obviously seem like you're not in this slump anymore. What's working? So for social media, like I said, I stick to Facebook. I think Cassie uses Instagram quite a bit. I've tried, and I just get overwhelmed. And then I have a website, but once again, it's like I put all this time and energy into it, and then now I don't use it. So I would pick the one thing. If Facebook isn't your thing, that's okay. If it's Instagram or Twitter, I don't know. But I would start with, like I said, just sharing your story and sharing how certain things have changed your life, or even your family's life. So that's what I mean by, I guess, keeping it simple and owning your story. And then, like I said, just pick one thing. Don't feel like you need to go get Twitter and then Instagram and Pinterest and, all these other things, because it's really obviously not our goals. So that's the first thing. This one, you are a badass. So when I read this book, I was like blown away. I felt like finally everything that I've ever wanted to get out of I just felt like I could say more, do more, and not be scared to share who I was. So that's my personal favorite book ever. But I think the most important thing is finding what drives you. So if there's a book, personal development book, that just touches something inside you, that just fires you up, it'll make you realize that sometimes going out of your comfort zone is exactly what you need to do. So whether that's like Casey, I remember when you were talking about, or when you first signed up and you didn't want to share a picture of yourself, and it's like those kinds of things that just pushes you out there because you're not doing anything wrong. Yes, it feels weird and it feels like, oh my gosh, am I really doing this? But you're inspiring people. So I think that's one thing, stick with personal development that really motivates you and gets you excited. Because that honestly for me has been like my biggest driver. I've told you guys, I started in April of 14, and it's been a lot of ups and downs, and it's been some days I'm like, I should just quit this because I can't keep up. I don't know what to do next. But then I find something that just motivates me, and whether it's a book or a podcast, like I seriously can't stress it enough. I guess that it's huge. So next, fear. I think that's one of the biggest things when we say, well, I don't really want to talk to anybody about it. I don't want to, push it in their face or anything like that. But I think everything that we fear are like made up scenarios that probably aren't going to happen. So if you talk to your coworker about it, or even if you make a post and you think all these people are going to react this way, or they're going to judge me, or they're going to, just certain things that, like I said, that you probably make up. So just, I think, face up to it and push yourself outside of your comfort zone and, be comfortable with promoting your groups, promoting coaching, promoting why you're doing this, or promoting how it's changed your family, like we talked about.
I didn't catch the FEAR right away. I really like that.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, the one or the other, you forget everything. And I know we've all been in that situation where it's like, nope, I'm done, but yeah, face everything and rise. I like that. So, let's see. So then now this brings us back to the 3 vital behaviors. So this is one thing that we should all focus on. And this is honestly daily, weekly, monthly. And it's the one thing that'll keep us focused and motivated and keep driving us. So the invite. That can be public Facebook posts, that can be private messaging, that can be face-to-face conversations. It's just telling people, hey, this is what we're doing. Like tonight I taught PIO, and my husband, Dan, his best friend since childhood, his wife finally talked to me about it, and it took 1.5 years. But I've always been inviting, I've always been promoting, I've always been, getting there. And so now she finally talked to me, and I could just tell my energy was just getting, I wasn't scared to just tell her what it's all about. And then obviously inviting into the coaching opportunity, just saying, hey, like Casey and Ann, both of you guys were talking, hey, I'm doing this because it's saving me some money. Plus I get a little kickback. So you're being real, just don't be afraid to tell people that aren't coaches, obviously, about that. And then the product of the product, I think we all know, obviously that's what got us here. So just drinking Shakeology, doing the workouts, promoting the workouts, and just keeping up with all what's coming out or what's new and that kind of thing. And then personal development, I think we already talked enough about that. But so all of those 3 things together, that's really, honestly, that's our job. That's it. I mean, obviously there's more, how do I get my links and all the fine print details, but this is really why we stick to this. This is why, why we keep going and keep just promoting, and it's really that simple. And so that's the thing I wanted to really stress, because I've really tried hard to do a mental checklist, okay, did I invite this week? Did I make sure to get my workouts done? Did I make sure to have my shakes? And did I make sure to get my personal development done? Those are the 3 things. And I would say I invite once a week, but the other 2 things I do every single day. So that's the main driver. That's your core. So then from there, obviously we want to set goals, and that's anything from, if we're still on our weight loss journey or anything like that, but also business goals. So do we want to hit Success Club 6? Do we want to hit Success Club 10? And just be realistic with that. Or maybe we want to hit a certain dollar amount. Maybe we want to make $400, or whatever the case is. But set goals at the beginning of the month. And I don't know, sometimes this is cheesy, whatever, but it's huge. It's made a big difference for me. In the beginning, I kind of just winged it and just did things whenever I felt like it, and now I'm getting better at writing things down, making sure I keep track. And I know it's a little bit more work, but it makes it so much simpler and more not so chaotic, I guess you could say. And then what?
I didn't say anything to Anne yet about Success Club. And it's just kind of like a extra incentive. And some months they give kind of cool prizes if you hit Success Club.
Okay.
It's
So-
like, okay, every challenge pack you sell, you get 2 points.
Okay.
I don't know, Nikki, how else could I?
Sorry, I'm not
Explain.
laughing, or I'm laughing because I told her this would make it less complicated, right?
Yeah, but like,
I'm handling it so far.
okay, like last month, like 1 month they gave away like a 21-day fix bag. Like, it's nothing ever that's super huge. It's just kind of a fun little extra. Okay, I should invite people, and then I don't know.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Anne, have you been into your online office yet?
No. I
Okay.
literally just signed up last night.
Okay. Yes. So once you get in there, you'll see there's like a little box there on the front screen, and it'll say Success Club on the side. And basically how to get those points, like Casey said, you get 2 points if you sell a challenge pack, and then you get 1 point if you sell Shakeology on auto ship or home direct. So you need 5 Success Club points, and then you will get, like Casey said, something fun that they give away. So if it's been tank tops, it's been workout equipment, it's been books, it's been totes, what else?
Programs.
Bobbleheads, yeah, work programs, other programs. So it's just a cool incentive. There's no penalty if you don't hit it, but it's just kind of one of those goals that if you hit it, you get something for free, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I like it.
if you want to look at it that way, basically the way they kind of say it is to help 3 people. So you want to help 3 people a month. So when we're talking goals, that would be, 3 challenge packs or 2 challenge packs in a Shakeology. So
Okay.
it kind of puts it better into perspective when you talk people versus points.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yep. And once you see the screen, I think you'll definitely you will understand where we're going with that.
Yep.
So yeah, then obviously, like, just let this motivate you, sometimes I think when we set goals and they're, I don't know, either too big or not big enough, it's like you kind of just lose focus. So if we set goals that are just a little bit more, a little bit like bigger than they were the last month or a couple months ago, then it just makes it more fun, I think. Like my goals personally, I try to focus on talking to more people. And that's, for me, just works really well because then it kind of is a flow of points and income and everything else. So my goal is to talk to 5 people a day, Monday through Friday. I talk to 3, or either talk or post or comment on someone's Facebook post. So I want it to be 3 new people and 2 old people, or like older people that I've talked to, so I'll maybe follow up. And it's not always about Beachbody. It's typically, hey, how's it been? I haven't seen you for 3 years. What's new? Where are you living? And then they just kind of, you get conversations going, and then people will naturally just be drawn to you or to us and open up and see what we're doing. So I think that is the biggest thing is I have never been one to just message someone and say, hey, are you interested in hearing what Beachbody is? Like, I just feel like it's too pushy. So that's one of my biggest goals is just talking to people and, being real. So yeah, I think, does anybody have anything else to add to that works for them, for you? Okay. So the last tip, no, I don't think it's the last one, but the biggest one is to think like a challenger. So now that we're on the coaching side, nothing really should change. You still should, obviously you're running the contest, but still think of it like as a new challenger. How did you feel when you got that box? You were super excited and you couldn't wait to try a new recipe and, just all of these things, but you also felt a little bit overwhelmed. So if you keep that in your back of your mind that as you're still coaching, you're still a challenger. You're still wanting to get them to the level that they're comfortable. So I know we all run contests, which is amazing. Definitely keeps people motivated and pumped up. One tip that I heard today was to build referrals into your point system. So instead of asking for referrals, you could say, I'm going to give you, 5 points if you refer a family member to me, or something like that. I thought that was pretty cool. And then continue to share your story in the groups. Don't be afraid. Like I tell people all the time, if I'm having a crappy day, I will tell them. If I ate Snickers, but then obviously the high points too. But we just want people to see we're real. I mean, we're not, we have nothing to hide. We have nothing to try and make it seem like it's, I don't know where I'm going with that, but just be real. And then one thing I've tried.
Like for me with that, because like a lot of people are like, will ask me, or they'll be like, well, I don't know what you can eat here. And it's like, I can eat whatever I want. Like
Yep.
at a recent gathering, it's like, I can eat whatever I want when so just kind of, sometimes I think, oh, Beachbody coach, all you ever do is eat healthy or drink Shakeology. And it's like, yes, I'm pretty good, but I'm also human too. So I think that's
Huge.
That's kind of been my biggest challenge, is just people being like, oh, well, you can't have that, or you must not, you don't do that or drink that, or.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I think that's exactly where, just be real. There, like you said, there are people at work, they're like, oh, Miss Beachbody, can you even eat that? It's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
not that way, And too, I think people, obviously, if we're going to eat, like, even if I do eat pizza or whatever, I still try to follow the guidelines of 21 Day Fix. But obviously it's a little bit of a cheat. But I think, even in your challenge groups, if you tell people that, hey, if you have this, just write it down, count it, and move on.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so to educate your challengers, that's one thing I've tried to start focusing on. And that just means, like, instead of just posting, I don't know, so we could say Shakeology as an example. I try to talk about ingredients, or more, some of the scientific background, you could say. Obviously not all the time, because sometimes that's boring, but sometimes just saying, hey, this ingredient is in there, and this is, what it's made for, or what it helps. That way, if you have people in there that aren't drinking Shakeology, it might hit that spot, like, oh, I am drained of energy at 3 o'clock, and, this relates to that. Or, whatever the case is. But I try to do those kinds of things. And even with food, like why we choose certain foods, why are some of the foods at the top of the list versus the bottom of the list, or stuff like that. And I've done too, like, posted different pictures of one, it's just food. I think it was Triscuits versus Wheat Thins, and like just said, what's the difference? Let's compare, So just fun things like that, so they know we're not just Beachbody. Like, this is a lifestyle. So I think that's important. And then once again, talk about coaching. Let them know why we do this. This keeps us, it's like the ultimate accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and even if there's a lot of girls on our team that it's the accountability, but it's also the discount too, right? So sharing that helps. I know when I first started, I was like, I am not talking about coaching because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm not inviting anybody. But if you say that to people, that maybe will make it better if you're honest. Like I said, sometimes it's like, hey, well, that's cool. If she doesn't know what she's doing, then I guess I can probably figure it out too. I don't know.
And that's like when Becky, she's running a challenge group, and she's like, I'm not a coach. And I'm like, Becky, you've lost 20 pounds. This
Right.
obviously works for you. Mm-hmm. Share what you're doing. And she's like, thanks for telling me that, because it's super easy. Like, she just, once she realized that, hey, I had success with this, all I have to do is share what I do.
Yep.
She's really liked it.
Yep. And that's exactly, I mean, there's absolutely no right or wrong way to do it. There's wrong. Like if you're just going to copy and paste Beachbody infomercials on your web or on your page, but I mean, there's really no right. You can't, I don't know. It's you, you make it what you want out of it. You can't, if you don't sell certain things, there's no penalties. If you don't hit certain things, I mean, it's all just in your control. And that's really cool. That's another thing. Don't think I have it on here, but if you have questions or like maybe even have a day off or an hour away from your kids or whatever, just go on YouTube and you will find a million things, a million videos. I mean, the coolest thing is all of the coaches, the top coaches, they share everything. They share what works. They share, successes, just certain things that maybe you don't understand about the actual business side or anything. So that's really cool. I think that when I look at like my full-time job, it's like my boss tells me, okay, you're cut off here. I'm not going to tell you all these secrets so you can get better, So I think that's really cool that, I don't know, it's limitless basically. So, and last thing, just be consistent. So I hope this wasn't like a whole mumble jumble of stuff, but everything that we did talk about, if you're consistent with it, it'll just build up momentum itself. I found this quote today and I thought that was kind of interesting. Lack of consistency can bring lack of interest. So I am the first to admit, if I'm not posting on Facebook, if I go out of my routine of talking to people, posting, drinking my Shakeology, doing my workouts, I lose interest. And then which in turn loses interest from other people. So I just thought that was kind of neat. Like if you don't just stick to it, even on the rough days, then you're just going to kind of, I don't know, set yourself back a little bit, I guess. So I think that's the majority, or that's everything. Does it make sense? Do you guys have any questions or anything to add?
And don't worry about all the specifics of it yet. I'll help you with those things as
okay.
they come up. And Nikki, you can kind of talk about how, like, when I started, I kind of just went with it and we just figured out my problems, if you want to call them, as we went along.
Right. Yep. I think the base, the key things that you'll want is just your links. And that, for me, what works really well is I save it in a Word document on my desktop, and it's just a copy and paste, and it brings them in directly, 10 minutes. It brings them directly to, my website. So I think, and then actually I have it on the next page, but the website, if you have any questions, is Coach FAQ, so frequently asked questions. And I think that's huge. If you have specific questions about, what does this come with, or what's the price of this, or, how many workouts come in this program, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else, like Casey, that maybe you overcame after the first couple of weeks that maybe I missed?
I think it just, like, I got super overwhelmed right away, and it was just, I just needed to probably slow down and take it one step at a time, and
Right.
not, because I started following a lot of coaches and kind of just, I'm like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, and it was like, then maybe I was doing too much, not doing a good job at it.
Right. And that's kind of where I said, like, in the beginning, and I'm totally guilty of it too, like, just overwhelming yourself with so many different things, that if you focus on what you're doing, Casey, I probably told you or said you should follow these coaches. But the cool thing with that is just seeing that, there's potential, but yeah, obviously you don't want to compare yourself and think, gosh, I'm not doing that. Maybe I'm not. Yeah, maybe I'm not doing this right. I guess I've quit recommending that, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I think that's true though. That's huge. Don't get so caught up in all the details, because really what we're here for is to help people. And we know how we felt when we started as a challenger, and that's our goal, is to get them through that hump and get them into a lifestyle that they, hold on, give me 1 second.
For me, it's fun to see people have success with it.
I think that's what motivates a lot of us. Like when people post before and after pictures, I mean, that it's really awesome to see.
Well,
Yeah.
and just like the energy level from just, because I mean, I always wanted to be a clean eater, but I just never had any idea how to do it. So I think it's just the energy I get from eating right is just the one thing that keeps me going on wanting to keep sharing this.
Mhm.
Yep. I agree. And see, and that's what I think is just the biggest thing, you know, you tell people that and they kind of just naturally get drawn to us, you know.
Mhm.
Okay, so do you feel like that's a good a good touch up on everything? I know
I don't do I probably should do the Mombi calls. Nikki, you do the bigger team calls, don't you usually?
Yep, sometimes I try to. If I don't, then I'll watch the recording. So, and I can try to post those into our group. So, Monday nights are Miguel's team calls. Tuesday nights are ours. Wednesday night are Aaron's. Yeah, so it can be a lot, obviously. But I can try to share some of those, or I do share some of those calls in our page, the ones that I think are really important, or really,
Okay.
you know what I mean, have key points to them.
I just bug the crap out of Nikki and use her.
It works. It works. Well, I know, that's why I was like, gosh, we haven't talked in a long time. And when you first started, I think we talked like every other day on the phone.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. So, and that's good though. I mean, that's how, you know, that's how I learn that way. I learn when I have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's bad, but at least we know, like I said, the resources are there, whether it's YouTube or the Team Beachbody website or anything like that. So we're never just left high and dry. So that's cool. All right. Well, there are a couple other videos too that kind of explain. I'll try to add some more things into the group that's like an intro to coaching versus just the, you know, the process of coaching. So the details of setting up our website, the Team Beachbody website, stuff like that. So I'll try to get more of those kinds of videos into our group, and then people can watch kind of on their own time. I think that would be good. But so we'll go last one. So this, just a reminder to everybody, the October promotions are still obviously going through the 31st. And then, like I said, questions, that's the website, coachfaq.com. And then November, so I signed up to do this event called Grace Place, Shopping with a Purpose. So it's at the Wilmer Civic Center. I signed up, but I'm going to actually be promoting Anytime Fitness. So I'm going to be promoting my personal training sessions. So if anybody wants to join me and promote Beachbody, it's on November 10th. It's on a Tuesday from 5 to 8 p.m. I have a 10-foot table, and I'm just going to use just a little bit of it, I think, for the Anytime stuff. And then if anybody wants to come talk about, you know, we can set up some programs. We can have samples of shakes if we want. I did get electricity, so I thought I'd invite everybody and see. Might be a fun night. And then afterwards, if, you know, we could always get supper or whatever. I haven't actually posted that in the group yet. It was kind of an idea I had today. And then January, I know we talked about doing the live event in November. We were talking now maybe changing it to January, and then so we can do what we said, so like a 9 to 11 event, and then have like just a supper with it, or lunch, sorry, with everybody that from the team that can make it. So those are just a couple of the updates that I have kind of going on. I don't know if you guys think anything of the November one or what, but thought I'd throw it out there.
And there's like 9 of us now, right? Or
Total?
Yeah.
No, there is 14 of us.
Oh, 14. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So, and I don't know how, as far as for the table, you mean in November?
No, I don't know. I'd have to check that date anyways, but just,
Okay.
kind of so Anne has an idea when you're talking like group, what you mean by that.
Oh, sorry. Yes. And the November one, I don't know. That one I'm guessing will be smaller, but the January one, I'm hoping that all 14 and whoever else joins us by that time will be there. And then we can get like maybe rent that back room at Max's, or not
Mhm.
rent, but just have them hold it. I don't know. Just ideas. But yeah, you
Very
guys can
good.
check the date. So it's November 10th and it's 5 to 8 p.m. And I know I did this right when I first started, and I went to Fargo, which is kind of dumb of me. I should have stayed local, but it just helps you to get more comfortable talking to people and not like new people, I don't know, and just
Mhm.
giving you a fresh perspective other than our friends and family. So it's kind of fun that way. But I think this website's going to kick me off soon, so I'm going to do stop share. Yeah, I think I have 1 minute. So I'm actually officially, a minute and a half. It actually warned me this time. All right. Any other last minute questions or anything to add?
Nope.
No, I think it was a good start. I appreciate you guys including me on the call, and baby steps, but we'll get there.
Exactly.
You'll do great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited that you came on your first day.
Yay! Woo, perfect timing.
Awesome.
So,
All right. Well, thank you guys.
All right. Thanks, Nikki.
Yep. Talk to you later.
All right.
have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.